Good evening and welcome to another episode. And so for today's episode, we have a very important and special guest who has been very impactful in anywhere she goes and in everything she does. I've heard so much about you. It's an honor having you on my show today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So please, can you introduce yourself to my viewers?
Hello, so my name is Zoe and I'm 70 years old with 3 kids.
70?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So why did you write this handbook of yours?
I guess people, at every point in my life, people kept on asking me about my journey and what it took for me to get here, so I figured I'll just put it into writing.
And what's the book about? Summarize, tell us.
So the title speaks for itself. The book is called Lead or Be Led, and it just means that if you don't lead yourself properly, then you'll be led blindly.
That's actually very true. Looking at the current state of our country and Africa is a very big problem.
Yeah.
But from all of this, I can tell you look so strong, like you're a very strong woman.
Don't be deceived, I wasn't always strong.
Oh, really?
My feels.
Okay, then can you tell us some of your strengths and weaknesses, since you said I shouldn't be deceived and all of that?
Yeah, so I think one thing that sticks out with me is that I'm very organized and I'm very reliable. But then when it comes to my weaknesses, I think I'm very critical, like I criticize myself so much.
Okay.
And then I have a tendency of not saying no to others, even though I know that it will like pull me down and stuff like that too.
Okay, then can you take me through some of your opportunities and threats?
Well, I would say that I was at some point in my life, I was a peer tutor and everything, and it taught me how to relate with others and stuff like that. So I think that could let me be really well for like the world. Yeah. And I think for threats, it's just always family, because family always have their own opinions on certain things in your life.
As I said, Africa again. I mean, it's always being determined by your parents and whatnot. That's very interesting of you. So how did you discover all this? Your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, threats,
I mean, it all started when I got accepted into Ashesi University.
Ashesi?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ashesi encouraged us to impact the world and creating enterprises that will make a better place. So as soon as I graduated 2026, that's when I finished. I started the ZEES initiative, right, which was a youth support network and mentorship program that focused on mental health among the youth. And then this idea emanated from my self-learning project in 2024. I was anxious to make the needed impact in that field because when I saw the statistics on the number of people who need about mental health, it wasn't really the best. Yeah, so that's what moved me to do that. So being organized and reliable, like I said, was like the golden block for all of this. And then, however, my inability to say no to people, like, caused so much workload to be on me. It became very stressful, and then eventually I crashed, which also caused a mental health breakdown for me.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And I closed down this unit for 4 years until I really organized. That was my first taste of failure. It was so bitter. I didn't even want to relive that experience again. Yeah. So moving on, in 2028, I enrolled in Ashesi. I came back to Ashesi again. I enrolled in the law school program, and then this all came from, I think one time we had a presentation in class, and I chose someone called Hadija Tumani, right? She was in Nigeria, and she was part of this whole sex trafficking thing, and she couldn't fight for her rights. So in the end, when she grew up, she made it a conscious effort to go around fighting for the rights of women. So that's what encouraged me to do law. So when I was in law school, I was just basically working towards being the voice for the minority. And then so advocacy was my next tool to impact society. And then in 2032, I think I passed my law exam and I was called to the bar. So that was like, I was a lawyer by that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think after that whole period, I went back to build this initiative from the ground again. I was better prepared, and I think I was better prepared, and everything went smoothly with all of that. And then I think so I couldn't manage it alone. So I had like 300 volunteers on board
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
who were willing to, you know, help out and everything.
Okay.
And then also I think I was also thinking about more ways I could make an impact. And then one thing that came up was to continue my mother's legacy. Sorry, she the queen mother of Abompe.
Hey.
So yeah. So I felt like I couldn't balance those two. So I left the disease initiative in the house of my sister. And then I went on to run things at Abompe, sort of. Yeah. So in 2034, I got a role as a business systems analyst with an NGO in the USA. Yeah. So they were an environmental protection agency. And I think the reason why they came to my aid and all of that was because I think Abompe at the time was going through a lot of galamsey issues, so our water bodies, were not the best. Okay, so I was called when UNICEF USA offered to partner these initiatives to run several programs in Abompe in the Eastern region. So I jumped at the effort immediately. And so for 20 years, we made Abompe green. Birim River, that's a river, like one of the rivers in the town. It became full and almost clean. Illegal galamsey seized or was minimal. And the bauxite bees that my mother, the queen mother, tried to put value on became valuable. The bees traveled the world and sat on the neck of Queen Margaret II of Denmark. The world was becoming a better place. It was an interesting 20 years restoring Abompe to the state that my mother, the queen, dreamed of. She had relinquished all the reins to me. So I signed a social contract with every household, 800 of them actually. It was a very exciting moment to see them putting at anybody that brought comfort to mine or gold or like to mine and to take the water to how it was before. Sorry. And it was a huge relief to see that the rivers that had dried up filled up. So another part of my journey was when I was younger, my dad always, so anything as I grew, my dad had this rule that every time it's Christmas, we should all come home and come and celebrate at home, no matter where we are in the world. So I think I remember in 2036, when I was coming to Ghana from Hong Kong. I don't really know what I was doing there, but then I found love.
Hey.
Yes, so.
Okay, and all this is part. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Allah found me. I don't really know. So I got that emotion. I think so. I think for the most part of my life, and yeah, I made friends, but then I think I just cut off that emotional part. I don't know. I think I didn't mention this before, but at some point I was the CEO of Integral Associates. So that was my dad's company, and that was I was also continuing the legacy of my dad, the same way I was doing to my mom. But at that point, I was balancing too much, and I almost failed at family life, in the sense that I was so engrossed in the work that I cut out for myself. I was doing way too much that I didn't realize that I didn't have any breathing room to realize that my kids were swaying away from the model I wanted to bring them up with. So I think at that point I nearly lost my son to peer pressure. And it was a very, very dark moment for me and for Kuku, because Kuku was going through so much, like his business and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's also another way that I almost failed, but then I realized it immediately and bounced back. Yeah, so I think my opportunity presented itself to me in this state because I used what I knew about my peer tutoring when I was younger to help bring my son back to the right path. And I think, let me even go about him today. He even owns a cyber business that makes over like $500,000 a month.
That's impressive.
And then he also pushes money from there to help me, carry out seminars in different schools to talk to people. And then he's also pushing towards the book launch that I'm also having this Saturday. So I think to conclude with all of this, I just want to say that every leader has needs a self-assessment to be able to succeed. And then these assessments go a long way to determine their roles and in the best way possible for them to thrive. Yeah. So I think that's just about my journey.
So from all this, I'm getting that experience is actually the best teacher.
Yeah.
Viewers, I don't know much about you guys or how interested, but I am very excited for this book launch and I will be there. So see you guys there and see you, Zoe. Thank you much for this interview.
Thank you for having me soon.
And so see you on the next episode, guys. Bye.